to the narrowing path, walking the spiritual walk. My name is Steve Van Eierstein. Thank y'all for joining me today for the daily reading of April 19th. We're already pretty much 2/3 of the way through April. It's flying by. This whole year's flying by. And it's been a great journey to be able to jump on and read these meditations with everyone that's been following along. And I'm really grateful for it. And thank y'all for listening and just being a part of this with me. So yesterday's, that was just a powerful one. The last 2 days have really just stuck out to me. But this whole month so far has just been something that has been a great reminder on accountability and what the possibilities are and how to live. You know, there's a set of instructions, that was, I think it was 17th, there it is, 17th, that I just, it's just a fantastic set of instructions on how to love somebody, how to be selfless, how to selflessly love, and that's important. It's an important thing for me. So, really enjoy it. I'm looking forward to today's reading, and this will be fresh to you and fresh to me, meaning I will be reading it for the first time and hearing it for the first time, all right, on this podcast. So you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading. So here we go. April 19th reading of James Allen's Daily Meditations. Abandon error for truth and illusion for reality. To sin is to dream, and to love sin is to love darkness. They who love darkness are involved in the darkness. They have not yet seen the light. He who has seen the light does not choose to walk in darkness. To see the truth is to love it, and in comparison, error has no beauty. The dreamer is now in pleasure, now in pain. This hour in confidence, the next in fear. He is without stability and has no abiding refuge. When the monsters of remorse and retribution pursue him, whither can he fly? There is no place of safety unless he awake. Let the dreamer struggle with his dream. Let him strive to realize the illusionary nature of all self-seeking desire, and lo, he will open his spiritual eyes upon the world of light and truth. He will be happy, sane, and peaceful, seeing things as they are. Truth is the light of the universe, the day of the mind. Wow. Whew. That's an awesome one. That was great. I enjoyed that so much, and he's really talking, at least partially, about allowing someone to struggle while they're dreaming, while they're in that self-seeking mode, while they're in that darkness. He called it darkness, and you're in and of it while you're sleeping before you've awakened to the actual understanding of what the truth and the light is. Before you've actually been able to take a look at reality. A lot of us, including myself, I walked around in delusion for years, and I'm probably still rooting it out, to be honest with you. This is my I'm probably still rooting it out. This is kind of a crazy thought to me, but it just was a great reading, great reading, and it makes it almost gives the message of why every struggle we had before we got on the spiritual path was needed. Because I needed to feel every ounce of pain, struggle, every ounce of pleasure and desire. I needed every experience I had before I found this path to be able to walk this path and see the true nature of things. So he opens this up, abandon error for truth and illusion for reality. I didn't have a good relationship with reality for about 28 years. Reality and we just didn't get along. As crazy as that is, I didn't like living in reality. And the thing is, I didn't have any idea I wasn't. But I had pushed it away so hard that there was no way I could. I had convinced myself of my own lies, my own delusions, to justify my actions and my behaviors. And I didn't know there was a different way to live. And I was living within that self-made prison. I was living within that for years. So to abandon error for truth and to abandon illusion for reality. Truth and reality, those are one and the same, really. So, to sin is to dream, and to love sin is to love darkness. That's a powerful statement right there. So to sin is to dream. So while you're asleep, if you are sinning, if you are doing these things, you still are trapped in some part of this dream, part of this illusion. You aren't grounded in reality yet. You aren't aware maybe, but you're not there yet. And to love sin is to love darkness. So he's saying when we sin, it's that we love darkness. And this kind of ties to ignorance, the light of knowledge, When we're in darkness, we are in ignorance. And ignorance is what causes sin. So it all plays together. So really, we're talking about ignorance here and just the lack of awareness around the reality of situations, right? Abandon illusion for reality. They who love darkness are involved in the darkness, and they have not yet seen the light. So when you love your sin, when you love that ignorance you have, that you're not aware of, that I wasn't aware of, I'm involved with that darkness. I believe that darkness is reality. That's the most insane part of this. I truly believed my sin and my ignorance and that darkness I lived in, the dark and depressing place, was actually reality. But it wasn't. It was my perspective laid over reality, and I couldn't see it. But, like it said here, I had not seen the light yet. And he who has seen the light does not choose to walk in darkness. That's the amazing thing about this stuff. When you're willing to look at it, when you're willing to accept a different perspective and think about it critically even, you don't even have to bring it into your soul. But if you're willing to entertain it, when you get a little fraction of this, you never want to go back to that darkness, that dream state. You never do. And that's why I believe that this path that I'm walking, that I talk about, the spiritual lifestyle, is the one we are supposed to be walking. Because when people start walking it, you cannot unsee it. And no one wants to go back. And that's amazing to me. He who has seen the light does not choose to walk in darkness. To see the truth is to love it. And in comparison, error has no beauty. So all of these things we think we're achieving really in this dream world, in this illusion of reality, there's no beauty there. We think we know beauty. We think we know these things, but we really don't. And it really was reckoning when I realized how deluded I was. The dreamer is now in pleasure, now in pain. Like he's talking about, this is the part he starts talking about swinging from one way to the other. So a dreamer is now in pleasure and now in pain. He's subjected to his emotions, right? This hour in confidence, the next in fear. So the pendulum just swinging back and forth and back and forth. He is without stability and no abiding refuge. Without stability, no abiding refuge. No place to be grounded to. No place to step outside of those things and allow them to be and walk in faith and confidence all the time. Right? What a thing that is. He is without stability and no abiding refuge. When the monsters of remorse and retribution pursue him, whither can he fly? Where is the solace for a person that is completely under the subjection of his own emotions? I don't know if that's the right word to use. So completely the victim of his own emotions, right? We create our own victimizations. Where can you go to weather those storms? When you're dreaming, they seem like they will never end. You have no peace. You have no serenity, no joy, no love. When these things, retribution and remorse, fall upon you, they are all engulfing and all encompassing if you're dreaming. When you're awakened to the knowledge of truth and when you're living in reality, you understand perspective. You understand what the dynamic of life is and the progression of life. And you understand that this is only a season. You can find gratitude and joy and live a day fully still without having to be swallowed up by it. There's no place of safety unless he is awake. That's what I'm talking about here. When we wake up to truth and reality, we realize these things. We can weather any storm. And I believe that. I've weathered a lot of them in my sobriety. And I'm so thankful for it because every time you do, the more strength you gain to weather even stronger ones, more painful ones. Let the dreamer, this part I was kind of talking about earlier, let the dreamer struggle with his dream. Let him strive to realize the illusionary nature of all self-seeking desire. And lo, he will open his spiritual eyes upon the world of light and truth. See, those are big words right there. That is a big statement. We have to let others struggle. We can offer things we can offer them guidance. We can offer them perspective. We can offer them our experience. But if it's not really wanted, it's wasted. And the reality of these situations, and it has been true for me and many, many that I have talked to about this, every individual needs to have their own path till they become so desperate to break out of that dream state and to see the real truth of things that they'll open their eyes and awaken to the light and the truth. And the change as soon as that happens and someone glimpses that, the changes begin immediately. He says here, he will be happy, sane, and peaceful, seeing things as they are. And that can come relatively quickly, is the thing. When you actually see the truth of situations, you'll have battles to fight. You'll have old behaviors to change. You'll have old thinking to change, old intentions to address. But the reality of it is, the peace it talks about, the sanity it talks about, the happiness it talks about, they come with just living in reality and the truth of situations, and the truth of things. Did we skip a sentence? I liked that line, though, where he said, let him strive to realize the illusionary nature of all self-seeking desire. Because that's what that dream state's always driven by. and self-seeking desire. Usually fear-based. It's either desire or fear. Desires a lot of time are based on fears, though. And we're just waking up and living a different life. It's just so beautiful. So he ends it with this: truth is the light of the universe, the day of the mind. I love that. When I first read that, it didn't quite sink in what that last part, the day of the mind, the awakening of the mind, the seeing of the actual situation, the reality of the situation, and the beginning of that second life. The night is ended. The dream is stopped. Welcome to reality and truth and the light to walk in. How beautiful is that? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful reading. Loved every word of that one. Brings me so much joy. So much joy. It makes me grateful when I read things like this. That's for sure. So thank y'all for joining me, though, today. I greatly appreciate all the support I'm receiving on this podcast. Please don't hesitate to go to our Facebook page and like and follow. And I'm really excited to read tomorrow's. And until next time, thanks.